myself. You know, Canelo is a great fighter. He's, you know what I mean, an all-time great, one of the best that came out of Mexico. I'm one of the all-time greats, I feel, you know, and why not? Why not put it to the test, you know? History. Hey, what they say, big chances, big rewards. So I'm looking for that big reward at the...
Terence Crawford isn't just confident, he's ready for battle with fire in his eyes. He boldly declares he's prepared to take down Canelo and prove he's the best. However, not everyone shares his belief. Critics point out the significant weight difference between Crawford and Canelo, casting doubt on whether the fight is even fair. Boxing promoter Eddie Hearn voiced his opinion, saying, "I do think the weight will be too much for Terence. Even in the Jermall Charlo fight, you could see that physically, he's not a big 154-pounder, and he's definitely not a big 160. The biggest question surrounding the fight is whether Crawford can handle Canelo's size and power. Many believe that despite Crawford's skill, stepping up in weight to face a naturally stronger fighter like Canelo could spell disaster. Others argue that Crawford's precision, speed, and boxing IQ could neutralize the size disadvantage with the right strategy. As the debate intensifies, more experts are siding with Canelo, convinced the weight gap is simply too much for Crawford to overcome. Former champion Mikey Garcia, who has seen elite fighters struggle when moving up in weight, believes Crawford is venturing into dangerous territory against a naturally bigger, stronger opponent. While Crawford has dominated every division he's entered, this challenge may be different. For many, no matter how skilled Crawford is, the physical differences are too significant to ignore.
Why?
Bigger guy. Way bigger. I mean, maybe not in height, but in size-wise.
It's a 30-pound difference.
A lot bigger. Crawford was just fighting at welterweight 2 fights ago.
Garcia's comments add to the growing skepticism surrounding Crawford's chances, with some fans viewing it as a harsh reality check, while others see it as just another underdog story waiting to unfold. After all, boxing history is filled with instances where skill triumphed over size. But against a powerhouse like Canelo, the question remains, could this be a step too far? The conversation has shifted from just a fight to a larger debate about whether greatness can push past its limits or if those limits will ultimately defeat greatness. As fight night draws closer, more voices are chiming in on the challenge Crawford faces. While Crawford's skills are unquestionable, some argue that skill alone may not be enough against someone like Canelo. The Mexican superstar has dominated multiple weight classes and carried his power up with him, which is where the real concern lies. Crawford has never been tested at this level, facing an opponent with Canelo's size, strength, and knockout power. Some experts worry that, despite Crawford's sharpness, he may simply be outgunned.
Seen Canelo carry his power up to light heavyweight. I haven't seen Crawford do that. You know what I mean? Crawford's a smaller guy. Is he the superior boxer pound for pound in my opinion? I would say yeah. But going up and fighting a guy who I would say is pound for pound 1A or 1B, whatever, I don't know if that'll be enough.
This debate raises an important question: can elite boxing skill overcome raw physicality? Crawford is known for his ring IQ, movement, and adaptability, but against Canelo, he may need more than just strategy. Fighters who have moved up in weight often struggle or even crumble under the pressure of facing bigger opponents. If Canelo's power carries into this fight, Crawford might find himself in deep waters. However, if Crawford proves the doubters wrong, this could go down as one of the greatest performances in boxing history. The line between a bold challenge and a risky mistake has never been thinner. The concerns surrounding Crawford's size disadvantage go beyond just weight, they're about power. Many believe that even if Crawford can handle Canelo's size, he may not be able to withstand his punch. Canelo has earned a reputation for breaking down opponents with punishing body shots and explosive combinations. Fighters who faced him often speak of the sheer force behind his punches, something smaller opponents struggle to endure. Former world champion Shawn Porter is among those who believe this will be a major hurdle for Crawford, arguing that the combination of power and weight will be too much for him to overcome.
Others say like, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Like once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo, he's going to slow down. So I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later, and he's still got that kind of steam.
For those doubting Crawford, the biggest concern remains clear: even the best defense can only hold up for so long against a fighter with relentless power. Canelo doesn't just knock opponents out, he wears them down over time, making them slower, weaker, and more vulnerable as the rounds pass. If Crawford can't avoid Canelo's power shots, he might be in for the toughest fight of his career. On the other hand, Crawford has defied expectations before, using his speed and intelligence to dominate opponents. If he can find a way to neutralize Canelo's power, he could pull off one of the greatest upsets in boxing history. This debate isn't only about weight and power, it's about risk. Some argue this fight is too dangerous for Crawford, not just because of the physical disadvantages, but because of what's at stake. Boxing legend Bernard Hopkins has raised serious concerns, questioning if the fight is worth it for either man. He believes Crawford is stepping into a situation that goes beyond boxing, suggesting that taking on Canelo at this weight could be a career-defining risk with potentially life-altering consequences. Hopkins asked, "Crawford cares about his life. What does that fight do for Canelo? If Crawford beats Canelo, what does that do for Canelo? There are so many other realistic fights that make sense and are less life-risking." Hopkins' words have sparked deep conversations about whether this matchup is pushing the limits of fair competition. The notion that the fight could be life-risking adds a whole new layer to the debate, making some question whether Crawford is taking an unnecessary gamble. On the flip side, some believe this is exactly what creates legends, taking on impossible odds and proving the world wrong. Crawford has always embraced challenges, but this could be the biggest leap of his career. Hopkins didn't stop there. He doubled down on his concerns, emphasizing that the fight is happening entirely on Canelo's terms. Unlike other matchups where fighters meet at a fair middle ground, Crawford is the one moving up, not Canelo moving down. Hopkins feels this makes the fight even more lopsided, with one fighter taking all the risk while the other remains comfortable. He said, "On top of the risk that we risk stepping in there with guys our weight, now you want me to do something Canelo's not coming down to 160. This has become a major criticism of the fight. Many believe Crawford is being forced into a dangerous position while Canelo remains in control. Despite the doubts, the fight is happening, and Crawford isn't backing down. He has built his career on taking risks and proving people wrong, and this is just another opportunity to show that skill and strategy can overcome size and power." The stage is set for one of the most talked about fights in boxing, and whether people love it or hate it, all eyes will be on Crawford and Canelo when they step into the ring. While critics continue to question the weight difference, Crawford remains unfazed. He's not interested in the doubts, the concerns, or the warnings from experts. In his mind, this isn't a mismatch, it's an opportunity. He believes his skills, speed, and precision will be enough to not just beat Canelo but to knock him out. Crawford is putting in the work, training relentlessly, and sharpening every weapon in his arsenal. For him, this isn't about size, it's about proving that the
What's up, y'all? Looking forward to being undisputed in September. Let's get it. It's work time.
Crawford's confidence sends a clear message to his doubters. While many see this fight as too dangerous, he views it as just another challenge to conquer. His entire career has been built on proving people wrong, and this time is no different. With a rigorous training camp focused on power, endurance, and strategy, Crawford is preparing for war. He's not stepping into the ring just to survive, he's coming to win. Whether people believe in him or not, one thing is clear: Crawford is ready to fight and won't back down from Canelo or anyone else. However, not everyone doubts Crawford's chances. Some fighters who've shared the ring with him know firsthand just how dangerous he truly is. One of them is Edgar Berlanga, who has fought Crawford and sees him as nothing less than a legend. Berlanga believes that Crawford has all the tools, speed, skill, and power to knock Canelo out. While many focus on the weight difference, Berlanga argues that in boxing, anything can happen. Size may be on Canelo's side, but Crawford's ability to break down opponents and finish fights should not be underestimated.
I really believe, that, anything can happen in boxing, you know what I'm saying? And Terence Crawford is a legend. He's great. He's a great fighter. The only thing I see that I favor Canelo is that, you know, his weight.
Yeah.
And that he's more bigger. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. But as far as skill set wise, IQ, I feel like Crawford can match anybody and probably do way better. You know what I'm saying? But you know, Crawford is a legend, bro.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, you can't count him out.
Berlanga's support adds more fuel to the debate. He knows the kind of power Crawford brings and isn't convinced that Canelo's weight alone will decide the outcome. Throughout history, smaller fighters have shocked the world by defeating bigger opponents, and Crawford has the mindset to do just that. He's not just a technical fighter, he has the grit and determination to push through adversity. While many question whether he can handle Canelo's strength, Berlanga sees a real chance for an upset. The fight is set, the camps are in full swing, and Crawford is preparing to prove his believers right and his doubters wrong. The conversation around Canelo's physical condition isn't just about size, it's about his age and movement. Teofimo Lopez, known for his sharp analysis, has raised concerns about how Canelo's legs will hold up in a fight against Crawford. Lopez believes that while Canelo's upper body movement remains strong and sharp, his legs seem to be losing their edge. Without strong legs, a fighter's ability to move, avoid punches, and deliver explosive shots is compromised. This could be a critical factor, especially when facing someone as quick and elusive as Crawford.
Well, as long as Canelo fights somewhere in that weight class, maybe 160, see how that works out, I think that we'll get to see from there. You know, I've seen him at 154, although he hasn't fought for that time span since the Spence fight. I noticed that his legs are too old. That's what I saw.
You see it?
Yeah. His movement from the waist up are good. They're still on point, but his legs.
Lopez's observations add another layer to the already complex debate. Legs are the foundation of a fighter's mobility, and if Canelo's aren't as sharp as they used to be, it could give Crawford an advantage. A quick, mobile Crawford could exploit any weaknesses in Canelo's footwork, potentially taking control of the fight's pace. Even a slight decline in movement can make all the difference. Whether or not Canelo's legs are truly a problem, this added uncertainty only makes the fight even more unpredictable. Crawford's ability to capitalize on any weaknesses could be key to his success. Teofimo Lopez, known for his sharp eye and unfiltered opinions, has been vocal about Canelo's vulnerabilities. His take has caught attention, focusing on the movement of the Mexican champion. Lopez believes that while Canelo still shows solid technique and power in his upper body, his legs have started to show signs of aging. For Lopez, this could be a serious problem, especially when facing someone as fast and agile as Crawford. Legs are crucial for avoiding punches, controlling the pace, and executing movement. If Canelo's legs aren't what they used to be, it could give Crawford the opening he needs. Lopez elaborated, as long as Canelo fights in that weight class, maybe 160, we'll see how that works out. I've seen him at 154, though he hasn't fought there since the Spence fight. His legs are too old, that's what I saw. His upper body is still on point, but his legs, if you don't have legs in this sport, you're in trouble. Lopez's statement goes beyond simply analyzing Canelo's legs, it's a warning. He's highlighting a crucial aspect of boxing that many may overlook: footwork and movement. In a sport where every second counts, having the right footwork can make the difference between winning and losing. If Canelo can't move like he once did, it will be easier for Crawford to control the distance, stay out of range, and land precise punches. Even if Canelo's power is still there, if his legs aren't, he could struggle to land that power effectively. This adds another layer of uncertainty to the fight, leaving fans wondering if Crawford might capitalize on this potential weakness. Amid all the weight concerns and doubts surrounding the fight, one piece of advice stands out. Legendary trainer Stitch Duran recalled a conversation with the late Roger Mayweather, a respected figure in boxing, who spoke about how, in his day, fighters didn't worry as much about weight divisions. They focused on skill. It was never about the size difference, it was about the caliber of the fighter's skill and ability to adapt. Duran took this wisdom to heart and believes that skill will ultimately determine the outcome of this fight, not the weight difference. He's confident that Crawford's abilities could be enough to defeat someone like Canelo, regardless of the size disparity.
Roger Mayweather, when I worked with him, the late Roger Mayweather, I was talking to him and he said, you know, nowadays, MFers, you know, they have all these different divisions. We used to fight guys of different weights. He goes, it's not the difference in the weights. He goes, it's the caliber of skill level that you have. And I always thought about that, you know. So can he beat Canelo? Of course. You know, can Canelo beat him? Yes.
Duran's perspective brings a refreshing angle to the conversation, challenging the traditional belief that weight alone determines the winner. For him, it's all about who has the better skills and who can execute their game plan most effectively. If Crawford can outbox Canelo, then the weight difference becomes irrelevant. Duran's faith in Crawford's skill set offers hope to those who believe that talent, rather than size, should be the deciding factor. According to Duran, this fight isn't just about power or weight, it's about proving who the better fighter truly is. Stitch Duran's view isn't the only one that places skill at the heart of this matchup. He continues to express confidence in Crawford's ability to adapt and rise to the occasion, even when facing a formidable opponent like Canelo. The idea that size and weight don't necessarily define a fighter's fate is a refreshing take, especially in a world where physical advantages often dominate the conversation. While Canelo's power and experience are undeniable, Duran points out that Crawford's skill set is top tier, making him a real threat despite the size difference. With the right strategy and focus, Duran believes Crawford has what it takes to come out on top.
I think the chances, I don't bet, but if I was going to bet one way or the other, I'd go the distance fight. You know, I think Terence Crawford's smart enough to move for 12 rounds. You know, you're talking about getting hit solid. He has to get hit solid by Canelo. So, yeah, that'd be my prediction on that.
Definitely was.
So don't go bet money on me now. I'm not good at this stuff.
If I were to bet, though I don't usually, I'd lean toward a fight that goes the distance, said Duran. I think Terence Crawford is smart enough to keep moving for all 12 rounds. But he's going to have to take some solid hits from Canelo along the way. That's my prediction, but don't bet money based on me. I'm not great at this stuff. This kind of analysis pushes us to look beyond just the physical attributes and consider the mental and technical aspects of boxing. It's about who can execute their game plan under pressure, and Crawford has proven he can do that. Whether it's his quick footwork, counter-punching ability, or his knack for outthinking opponents, Duran's confidence in Crawford's skill set is clear. While Canelo may have the size advantage, the fight will ultimately come down to which fighter can impose their will in the ring. It's a clash of styles, and in Duran's eyes, Crawford's style might be the one to overcome Canelo's power. Roy Jones Jr., one of the greatest fighters of all time, has his own take on how the fight will play out. According to Jones, the real deciding factor isn't weight, it's how Canelo approaches the fight. He believes that if Canelo sticks to his usual aggressive style and dominates the ring, he'll likely win. However, if Canelo deviates from his usual tactics and allows Crawford to control the pace, the fight could swing in Crawford's favor. This opens up an interesting opportunity for Crawford to take charge, but only if Canelo gives him the space to operate.
The weight won't be the factor will be how Canelo chooses to make the fight. Canelo comes out there what Canelo should do, Canelo wins the fight. Canelo comes out and does what he shouldn't do, Crawford wins the fight. Control the center of the ring. If Crawford is allowed to control the center, he'll win.
Jones emphasizes that Crawford's best chance is to seize control of the center of the ring. If he can do that, he'll put himself in the driver's seat, forcing Canelo to play his game. This is where Crawford's skills come into play, his ability to control the distance, adjust on the fly, and outthink his opponent. While Canelo's power is undeniable, if Crawford is allowed to move freely and dictate the pace of the fight, he has the tools to pull off an upset. It all comes down to which fighter can impose their will early and avoid falling into the other's rhythm. Jones' analysis underscores how critical strategy and tactics will be in determining the winner. Amid all the analysis and predictions, one thing is clear: Crawford's confidence is unwavering. He's fully aware of the challenges ahead, but he believes in his abilities without hesitation. His mindset is that of a true champion, focused, determined, and ready for whatever comes his way. Crawford is not intimidated by the size difference or the critics. He's confident that his skill, preparation, and heart will carry him through. There's no doubt in his mind that victory is within his grasp. As he put it, "I'm going to win. I'm going to win, man. I do everything, man. Ain't nothing I can't do." This unshakable belief is what makes Crawford such a dangerous fighter. While others analyze and question the factors that could affect the fight, Crawford only sees one thing: winning. He's not just hoping for a victory, he's convinced it's inevitable. This mentality will serve him well in the ring, where confidence and self-belief can be just as important as physical ability. As the fight draws closer, it's clear that Crawford's determination to prove himself is as fierce as the challenge ahead. With the fight between Canelo and Crawford fast approaching, the debate surrounding weight, skills, and strategy continues to heat up, with strong opinions from legends like Teofimo Lopez, Roy Jones Jr., and others. It's clear that no one truly knows how this one will play out. Will Canelo's power and experience be enough to overcome Crawford's skill and precision? Or will Crawford prove that size doesn't always matter in boxing? While the weight difference might be a factor, as many experts have pointed out, it's ultimately the fighter's skills and mindset that will decide the outcome. So what do you think? Does the weight difference matter, or is it all about who controls the fight? Who do you think will come out on top, Canelo or Crawford? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and stay tuned for more videos like this.